It's really cool that we get to go first because we usually do a presentation with ComCore and sometimes another program that's down in Southeast Ohio every year. And we have it structured so that I can tell you a little bit about AMERICORPS in general, and then a bit about our program. And then Meredith will walk you through our website, and then other programs can kind of follow up and share like how their benefits might be different, and the experience certainly will be different. A thing popped up that told me my internet connection is unstable. Can everyone see and hear okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay, good, excellent. So the title of this presentation should be "The Best Year of Sydney's Life is Waiting." So let's talk a little bit about what AMERICORPS is in general. Obviously, you have heard, you are aware of gap year opportunities.
Yes.
Because you are on this webinar. AMERICORPS is a really specific kind of gap year opportunity. It is something that is part of this rich history of national service. It's not a job, it's more than that. It's not an internship, it's beyond that too. It's not quite a fellowship, it's not something that you do necessarily for college credit. But it's something beyond all of that. It's an experience where you get training and you meet people in the field that you might be interested in going into. You make relationships that could last a lifetime, but you're also at the same time that you're developing yourself as a professional and developing yourself for your next steps. You are doing something in the community that's making an impact. All AMERICORPS programs across the country are held to pretty high standards. Members have to be doing something that really matters, and they have to be, programs have to be proving that the service that their members are engaged in is making a difference in the lives of people, or in the environment, or in the systems that we're all a part of. And then I just have some neat pictures. Our program gets to spend a lot of time outdoors, which is kind of nice. Where AMERICORPS came from. So the first civilian national service was under, well, arguably the first, was under FDR as a response to the Great Depression. In a lot of ways, I've been thinking over the last couple weeks that we might be going into a government response that looks kind of like the inception of things like national service. Citizens are sort of like grassroots standing up and saying like, hey, number one, I really want to make a difference. There's a lot of people who need help right now, and I'm someone who has skills and I'm able to help. Number two, I need help getting people the help. So we need some sort of like government organization and stimulus to make that happen. So after the 1930s and the CCC boys and the WPA, the next movement of national service was sort of under the Kennedy and the Lyndon B. Johnson administrations, and that's when the Peace Corps was born. And then after the Peace Corps, Kennedy liked the Peace Corps enough that he was like, we really need to do something here in the US, some sort of domestic Peace Corps. And that's where Volunteers in Service to America started. And then after that, the next big push of national service was in the 1990s under President Clinton. And he had experienced this inner city program called City Year. He was so impressed by it that he was like, you know what? I want this for the whole nation. I want an opportunity where young people can serve their communities and live a year experiencing the lives of the people who they are serving. And he formed AMERICORPS. And that's what we call AMERICORPS today. After that, it's sort of like pulled in Vista, and it's all under one thing now, which I'll show you. I think I have a graph. Aha! So this is how AMERICORPS National is structured. So at the top, Corporation for National and Community Service. It's not really an organization. It's just sort of like this loose bucket that exists in Congress, but they oversee different types of national service and community engagement programming. When you are 55 or older, come back to me. We'll talk about Senior Corps. You'll be eligible for that. And I can't wait until I'm 55 so I can be a Senior Corps member. But for now, we're going to talk about AMERICORPS. AMERICORPS is divided in three. There's AMERICORPS Vista, AMERICORPS NCCC, and AMERICORPS State National. So VISTA is pretty close to those roots where it started in the 1960s as the Volunteers in Service to America. Those members do capacity building. NCCC is disaster relief. It operates a little bit more like the military sort of, and members do other things, not just like FEMA style disaster relief, but they might serve in really hard hit inner city schools doing tutoring, or they might be building playgrounds or building trails. AmeriCorps State National is the traditional classic AmeriCorps direct service member, and that's all of the programs today. That's what we are advertising. Rural Action does have AmeriCorps Vista opportunities as well, but AmeriCorps State National is where you really get your hands in the work. So a breakdown of how that looks, and this is place-based, this is Southeast Ohio specific, but this is how it looks all across the country. There are AmeriCorps programs that are hosted by a certain nonprofit, and then typically that nonprofit has other partner host sites as well. So each program is going to operate a little bit differently, but the way it works at Rural Action is funding comes through Serve Ohio, our state commission on service and volunteerism. They fund our AmeriCorps program, which this year is called Ohio Stream Restore Corps, but next year will be Appalachian Ohio Restore Corps. And we place AmeriCorps members in programs at Rural Action, but also partner host sites. And our partner host sites, some of them are focused on environmental restoration, which is the inception of our program. And some of them are based in other things too, like zero waste or environmental education or sustainable agriculture and forestry, and all kinds of neat things, all of which come together to focus on community revitalization and restoration in Appalachian Ohio. Any questions on this slide? I know it's full of stuff.
I don't think so. All sounds interesting so far.
Well, it is. You're right. You're very smart. We're going to look a little bit. So keep this website in mind, my.americorps.gov. That's where you build an AmeriCorps profile, and all of the AmeriCorps programs all across the country advertise on this site. So you can look for AmeriCorps Vista positions, you can look for NCCC, you can look for State National. You can look for year-long positions, like most of the opportunities presented today. You can look for summer positions. Everything is on there. So you'll want to build your profile and get started on that website pretty soon. Well, for you, if you're not interested in full-time opportunities, it would be down the road. But if you're looking for like a summer opportunity between this semester and next semester, you'd want to build that profile pretty soon. We're not going to look at it today, but you should familiarize yourself with that website. Now I want to talk about why and all of the partners that we work with, why we chose Appalachian Ohio as, well, not why we chose, why we grew up in Appalachian Ohio as organizations. On the left, you'll see a very funny, it's kind of pretty, that is an orange creek bottom. And it's orange because of something called acid mine drainage. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So if you're not familiar with the history of our region, Appalachia has been an area where since white settlers have started establishing economies, it has been a spot of extraction. There have been a lot of different companies and bosses that have come in and taken various resources away, and then the funds have kind of left the region. So that extractive industrial economy has left some impacts behind. And the one that we day-to-day experience the most as an organization that is doing community development and economic development is coal mining. These are some of the impacts of coal mining. What happened is a long time ago, before there was any kind of regulation, folks would just kind of dig a hole in the ground, find the coal, and then when the seam pinched out, they call it, they would leave. And water gets in there, it mixes around with stuff that's not supposed to be exposed to the air, runs out into the air, and when it oxygenates, it drops iron into the bottom of a stream, releases sulfuric acid, and that's where you get the orange acid mine drainage. It's orange because of iron. And then there are also other like non-chemical water quality impacts. You'll see all that stuff piled up there that looks like big black mountains. That's called gob. It's the stuff that's almost coal, but it's not quite coal, so they couldn't use it, so they just piled it up and left it. And then we also have plenty of abandoned underground mine openings. Now, these impacts aren't just water quality, and they aren't just environmental degradation. It carries through to all of the different ways that humans interact with the world we're a part of. It has health impacts and economic impacts, and folks with power tend to not invest much in communities that look like this. So what happened was, in the 1990s, some citizens from our region, they were like, you know what? Our water's orange, and people are dumping trash in our forests, and our education system seems like it's kind of a mess. Let's do something about it. So they formed together as a community group. And since then, we have gone from being this collection of citizens doing community organizing into being a larger organization that works in community development. Now, we are membership based, so the people who are a part of the organization, mostly Appalachian Ohioans, but people from other regions as well, they are the folks who drive the work, who empower the work, and who help us figure out what our vision is every time we go through a revisioning process. And right now, our work is organized into 4 main areas. You've probably heard, if you've done classes in sustainability, of something called the triple bottom line. Well, we have a quadruple bottom line, and the I think I have a graph of that in a minute. The way that looks is we're helping small communities do big things, so sort of like that classic community organizing look. We are helping smaller communities figure out what they need to do to be supportive of a healthy local economy. We're always working on restoring and conserving the environment, because that is our resource, is where we are and what we have, and we have to take care of that. And then we're cultivating the next generation of leaders, and the biggest way that we do that is through our AMERICORPS programming. We also have some high school internship work going on in environmental education, but we run 31 AMERICORPS state national members and 5 AMERICORPS Vista members through our organization each year, who are learning, investing in the region, gathering transferable skills, figuring out what they want to do next in the world, and hopefully reinvesting all of that back in our world, whether it's Appalachian Ohio or somewhere else, in a helpful way. So here's a picture of the triple bottom line, and I've got to update this so that it has the quadruple bottom line, actually. So sustainability, people have, sometimes they refer to it as like the 3 Ps: people, planet, profit. What we have moved to saying is people, so, you know, supporting small communities to do big things. Planet, so restoring our environment. Prosperity over profit, so thinking about the economy that way. And then purpose, and that purpose is the part where we're cultivating the next generation of leaders. And it certainly gives me a lot of purpose to be involved in AMERICORPS programming and be involved in an organization that really gets sustainability in this way. This over here is our theory of change. It's sort of like how we do the work when we have a new body of work come up, or we're engaged in a project. It's really important that we're always learning together, and we're always connecting assets to something that is going to make them sustainable. Oh, I did it. There it is. There's the new one. There's the quadruple bottom line. This is our new world. And our AMERICORPS members, they're doing all of this. That isn't just the way our organization are like board directors think we should be doing. This is the work, the service that our AMERICORPS members are doing. So we have members in classrooms, in streams, catching butterflies out in the field for a pollinator workshop. We've got people cleaning up dump sites. We've got people digging through dumpsters, figuring out what's recyclable and compostable. We have folks that are leading community meetings to talk about economy or tourism opportunities. We've got people building trails, clearing log jams. Basically every piece of environmental and economic holistic health, we've got an AmeriCorps member who is engaged in that work in some way for their year-long term of service. And our AmeriCorps members are, they have a year to develop themselves as well. So they're getting all those things I was talking about before. They're like building relationships, networking, making connections. And then there are some tangible benefits that come with AmeriCorps service as well. So with most AmeriCorps programs, there is a living allowance, there's an education award. And that can vary a little bit across programs. But we pay for the upcoming year, we disperse the standard living allowance, which is $14,279 coming up, standard education award, which matches the Pell Grant every year. And then our program, since we're a rural program, we also provide some mileage training and equipment reimbursement. As an AmeriCorps member, anywhere you're eligible for healthcare coverage. There is child care coverage if you're eligible for that. It depends on your household's income. And it's neat because if you have federal student loans, you can use that education award to pay for those. You can put those into forbearance during your AmeriCorps term, or you can use the education award for future education expenses if you want to go to grad school like Olivia is.
Yeah, grad school is definitely in the plans for me, so that's good to know.
That's awesome. I think it's in the plans for me someday too. I used up all my ed awards on paying back loans, but that's okay. I'll just go into debt again. Do you have any questions on the benefits slide?
I don't think so.
I'm someone who loves questions, so if you think of some later, you can always email me. And
Okay.
contact information. The phone number, not so much, because that is our office, and we're not really going there right now.
Yeah.
Email, you can always reach me there. And Meredith is going to walk us through the Rural Action website. She's going to show you where you can find more information about our opportunities, including the AmeriCorps Vista opportunities.
Okay.
So thanks for letting me prattle on.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Just hold on. Okay, so this is the Rural Action website, and I just typed in ruralaction.org. Put this down. So up here you go, there's like these little tabs. There's Get Involved and AmeriCorps Ohio Stream Restore Corps that soon will change. And on here, this just kind of gives information about our program, kind of what Shannon already said. But it gives more details, all the history. And then down here, if you press this link that I'm hovering over, it takes you to available positions that we have. All of our different members are at different host sites, so they're all kind of doing different things. So you can read about each position through here. And then if you go back to that page that we were on, the AmeriCorps page, it goes, there's one that says how to apply. So when you click that, it takes you to this page. And this kind of gives you information on our state national program, our VISTA program, and down here, it directs you to right here. And that says apply. And that will take you to the page that Shannon said, that AmeriCorps.gov. It will take you here. And this talks about all of our the Rural Action program. But if you search up here, you can search for all of those programs that Shannon was talking about, like programs that are in Ohio, programs that are all over different states. Yeah, so all those links have all the resources you need.
Sounds good.
Okay, let me. Okay. It's my first time screen sharing.
Very nice. Thanks, Meredith. So I think we have City, you're going next, right? So Todd and Ashley, I'm not sure how you guys are going to go, but now it's time for City Year.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Zernak. I'm a recruitment manager with City Year. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio. And me and Todd are excited to share a little bit of information about City Year with you all today. So I'm going to work on sharing my screen. Todd, if you want to introduce yourself.
So yes, hello everyone. I served with City Year Cleveland after I graduated from Ohio State. I had a degree in sociology, and hopefully the next couple of years aren't like '07 to 2010 when I graduated college, where I had a lot of uncertainty around career pathways that I was interested in pursuing, but I was passionate about public service and grew up in a family of educators. So City Year kind of matched with my interest and values. And I've been with City Year since college graduation, so 10 years now.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. Are you all able to see my screen? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So yeah, again, City Year is an AMERICORPS program. So thank you, Shannon, for kind of sharing the ins and outs of that. It was super informative and loved all the information you shared there. But we are focused on the education system and really supporting students. So each year across the country, we know that approximately 800,000 students don't graduate from high school. So that's a student dropping out approximately every 30 seconds. Which is pretty significant. We know the importance of graduating high school and I mean, the education in general, just how much that helps build you up for your future. The good thing is that we do know this is a solvable problem because the crisis is concentrated. We know exactly what schools and what students are struggling, so we know exactly where to focus. So our City Year members, that's where they come in because we're part of that solution. So we're partnering with schools who are consistently kind of challenged by those inequities in the education system. So we can really create an environment where students can kind of lean into their strengths and be fully engaged in that learning experience. And we also know which students are most at risk of dropping out. So we've partnered with Johns Hopkins to kind of do some research and kind of really look into these early warning indicators, and they can kind of tell us as early as third grade, students who might be kind of exhibiting warning signs, and that leads to them not successfully graduating. So that includes their attendance, behavior, and academic performance. And those are the three key areas that our City Year members work with students. So students who exhibit just one of those early warning indicators as early as third grade have at least a 75% chance of not completing high school. So that's pretty stark. But we know that students who reach the 10th grade on track and on time are 3 to 4 times more likely to graduate high school. So that's why we partner specifically with students in the 3rd through 9th grade to really help them kind of achieve success in those areas during those critical years so they can matriculate onto 10th grade and successfully graduate high school. So that's a little bit of the why behind we exist and kind of our focus in that education sector. But now I'm going to share a little bit about what it's like to be a City Year member. So for me, I served with City Year right when I graduated from Ohio State. I served in Columbus, and for me, I kind of found AMERICORPS thinking about, I've always been passionate about service, volunteering, working with youth, but wasn't sure exactly what that meant for me as a career path. So I came to City Year kind of thinking I'd spend a year making a meaningful impact. And similar to Todd, this has turned into a career path for me. But yeah, essentially in our work, we are a team-based service program. So you'd be serving at one specific school for an entire academic year on a team with 7 to 10 other City Year members, working very closely with teachers in the classroom environment. So our City Year members are really focused on working with students one-on-one or in small groups, kind of meeting their individual needs. So we know in a classroom of 30 students, the teacher can't possibly work with each student one-on-one or give them that attention they might need to be successful. So that's where we come in as extra people power in those buildings. So we're really working on tutoring and helping students in a really meaningful and impactful way academically. But we also know that in order for students to succeed, academics are a big piece, but they need a lot more than that to be thriving as young people. So as all of our city year members are young adults, 18 to 25-year-olds, we're really focused on that near peer mentorship and building relationships. If you think about being in the same school day in, day out for an entire year, you really are able to form a deep relationship with the students. They know who you are, you know who they are. So you're supporting them with things such as their attendance, their social-emotional growth, you know, supporting recess, lunch duty, understanding challenges they might be facing inside and outside of the classroom, really being that champion, that advocate for them, helping them so they can kind of thrive as young people in all different aspects. So some other things we do specifically in the school, we do help with after-school programming. So we're there for an extended school day. You'll start your day before students arrive. You're there greeting them at the door as they're getting dropped off from their buses. There during the entire school day, kind of doing that meaningful academic intervention and being there as a mentor. And then we run after-school programming to kind of be a very holistic support to the school. And we do know that it is all worth it. So like I said, City Year's been around for about 30 years now, so we have to have a lot of research to back the work we're doing, and we know that schools that partner with City Year were up to 2 to 3 times more likely to improve on their assessments. So we're able to see that the work we're doing is definitely supporting students achieving their academic success. So similar to what we kind of just heard from Shannon, we have a lot of similar benefits as we are part of that AMERICORPS network. Some of those great benefits include a biweekly living stipend that kind of varies city by city depending on the cost of living there. We have a relocations assistance program. You receive that Siegel Education Award, about that $6,000 that you can use to pay off federal student loans or apply to graduate school, health insurance, time off, loan forbearance, a lot of really great things. And one thing I'm excited to share with you is, because you know you're interested in going to graduate school, City Year has partnerships with more than 100 different schools for different graduate school opportunities. This can be anything from waiving your application fee all the way to a full ride. Really depends school to school, program to program. And I'm more than happy to kind of send you a link that you can explore some of those that might be specific programs that you're interested in. But these opportunities are exclusively available to our City Year alums. So a lot of strong opportunities there, especially as you're thinking about continuing your education in the future. And then I think this is pretty unique. So I think oftentimes at City Year, people are like, okay, like working in the classroom, I'm not interested in being a teacher. Is this a good fit for me? So kind of like from what you've heard, we're not a teacher training program. We're more focused on young people who want to make a positive impact working with youth, but also invested in their own professional development. So as you can see, our alumni go out to do all sorts of different things. It's not a big surprise that the biggest bulk stay in kind of the government nonprofit sector. We do have individuals interested in education, but we also have alumni go into the medical field, business, law, all sorts of things. And during that year of service, we're really invested in helping you kind of develop and grow as a young professional, connecting you to mentors in the field you're interested in, and making sure you're really able to maximize this opportunity. So a couple big things that our alumni have shared that are like their big takeaways that they've kind of done from this. They're able to persist through challenges, kind of see the power of carrying relationships to help students succeed, and also building strong relationships. So all those skills are very translatable to whatever you might be interested in doing in the future. Great, so I kind of shared a lot of information. Wanted to see if you had any questions. Todd wanted to chime in anything before I kind of share our application process.
I don't think I have any specific questions. I really am just trying to soak up some information from this whole thing. So yeah.
Ashley, you did a great job. I think at the heart of City Year's work is the dynamic of a near-peer caring relationship in a young person's life, and how it can develop like their agency and aspects of their identity that allows them to see themselves, making gains towards high school completion, and the value of completing high school and having choices as an adult. And so we're looking to attract young people. And I think like the benefits of doing AmeriCorps in general is it's a service experience that kind of accelerates your personal growth to really help you figure out like, oh, I'm really good at this. I'm excited about this type of work. And I think it can help, give people a more narrow direction around career paths that they might see themselves fitting into.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. So just kind of share a little bit information around like next steps, kind of thinking about what our application process looks like. So our application is housed on our website, which is cityyear.org. It's very straightforward and simple. Usually takes most people about 30 minutes to complete. And with that, we are like a 10-month commitment. So our program starts over the summer and follows the academic year. So all of our members would be starting late July, early August, and then they're in service through the end of that school year. So typically late May, early June. We are a full-time program. It's usually about 45 to 50 hours a week. So most people really consider this a great like postgraduate option, kind of spending that year between undergrad and grad school, or kind of before launching into your professional career. We do have about 3,000 members serve with us each year in 29 cities across the country. We are in Cleveland and Columbus in Ohio, but also a wide variety of cities all over really. And one cool thing is you get to pick what city you want to serve in during our application process. We have total ownership over that. So, if you're thinking about where you might want to go to grad school in the future, some people use this as a transition year to kind of do this year of service before starting grad school. If there's someplace you've always wanted to live, if you're interested in staying in Ohio. So a lot of great opportunities there.
My one small world plug here, Sydney, is so the city manager of Sandusky, Eric Wobzer, is a City Year Cleveland alumni. And he's actually our keynote speaker at our now postponed fundraiser this year.
Small world. That's cool.
Awesome. So we do have a bunch of application deadlines throughout the year. So as you're working on that, you can kind of take a look at those. But all of these deadlines are for positions that would start over the summer. And yeah, basically, a big thing is if you have any other questions, you want to chat about this more, you're definitely more than welcome to connect with me. It's a great email to reach me at, and that's just my cell phone number. So more than happy to chat with you or answer any questions over text.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. So, Eric, are you ready?
Yes, I have unmuted myself. Hi, Sydney.
Awesome.
Hi.
I'm going to share my screen as well and go with the PowerPoint. I think. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Great. Now what is it showing?
It just has your whole PowerPoint screen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe switch screens. There we go. All right, so my name is Eric Long. I'm the Comm Core Program Manager. Our program is housed at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, at the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine. Our program's been around for 20 years, but our logic model and our initiatives have changed over those and evolved over those 20 years. So ComCore, next year we're going to have 19 members. We serve just Athens County. Our program starts August 6th, and we have 10.5 month and 11.5 month term positions. But no matter the length of the term, there are 1,700 hours. So the same benefits apply that Shannon talked about, the $6,195 Ed Award. The living stipend gets dispersed bi-monthly, so on the 15th and 31st through OU payroll. Members aren't employed by OU because you're a service member, but we do have some of the benefits and the perks of being housed at Ohio University. But our major focus of our program is on community health and wellness initiatives. And some of our members focus on food insecurity, some on nutrition education, some on emotional support and reducing isolation. So during this pandemic, our program is kind of thriving because we are serving the community need, those essential services right now. We're navigating all of the rules and guidelines around that, but our logic model is set up to fill the gaps here that are currently going on. And we say about 80% of the time members serve directly at their host site, and they have a site supervisor that they report to for their daily, weekly responsibilities. And then 20% of the time, our core serves together. So we have monthly member meetings, we have group trainings, and we encourage members to serve and help each other out at their sites. So they're doing a lot of that right now because some of our sites are currently closed. A lot of our members are focusing on that food insecurity and distribution, getting health supplies out to agencies that are needing it. And then we also do group like community service projects, and one underlying common program, unifying program that our members participate in is the Live Healthy Kids Nutrition Education curriculum. And that's where every single second grader in Athens County receives a weekly hands-on cooking and nutrition class, and that is facilitated by our ComCore members. So we don't expect our members to come in with any kid experience or classroom management or teacher knowledge. The curriculum is already provided, it's going in its 9th year, and we train members and pair them up together to facilitate that along with an OU student volunteer. And it's a 23-week curriculum. It's actually put on hold obviously now because of all the school closures, but members are usually teaching 1 to 3 of those classes per month. Olivia actually coordinated the Live Healthy Kids program over in Washington County a couple years ago, where our geographic service area was larger, but that's probably about 5 to 10% of the members' hours is doing that Live Healthy Kids curriculum. The reason we serve Athens County, some of the social determinants of health, depending on the statistics that you look at, if they take into account the student population or not, being a college town, but we are one of the poorest counties in the state of Ohio. We also have one of the highest rates of food insecurity in the state of Ohio. And 40% of third graders through an ODH study the other year were considered overweight or obese. So that's the reason why we have the Live Healthy Kids logic model in our program. Again, some of our mission statements, we've really transitioned and evolved into healthy relationships and social connectivity. So a few of our placements now are with local behavioral health and mental health care systems, here at the College of Medicine, Integrated Services Behavioral Health. We have a new partnership with a women's recovery home, working with their recovery plan through the opioid epidemic. We have a member placed in Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities, trying to integrate and reduce isolation within that community. Members within Children's Services and the school outreach team, bridging the gap and filling the need and just providing wraparound services, emotional, social support groups for girl power middle school teens. Athens Photo Project, that's where we have a member using art therapy to promote their behavioral and mental health. And we also have members placed within some of the local school districts, just providing all of those kind of support services, hearing vision screenings, life screenings, getting into the classrooms and teaching some health and wellness lessons that maybe those kids need, but their teachers are focused more on those standards. So our members, we also have a member at Rural Action, kind of our blend. That was Meredith, who served 2 years there. She was a ComCore member, but we have one placed at Rural Action, working with food insecurities and distributions as well. We also have members out there in gardens at community food initiatives, doing community gardening, school gardening. So all of our positions vary, but we kind of tackle that community health and wellness perspective from a holistic approach, where oftentimes our members find out a couple months into their service that our program is having multiple touch points to an individual or a family. And we really pride ourselves on being able to share and transfer ideas, services, resources amongst our core, because most and many of the nonprofits and agencies here in Athens County have a ComCore member, so they can rely on our program to get things done. And when a site signs up to have a member, they understand that they have one, but they also have a team of 19 that can mobilize and come in and support a program or initiative. So I have a little video. Hopefully this works. Let me know if the sound doesn't work. But this is one of our members from a couple years ago who did the Live Healthy Kids program.
Coordinator here at Live Healthy Appalachia. My position as the Live Healthy Kids Coordinator is to coordinate and implement our Live Healthy Kids program that goes into all 29 second grade classrooms in Athens County. It's a nutrition education program. It's hands-on cooking, and we do have physical activity. So the purpose is to expose students to new
You can't see the video. You can hear it, but not see it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe, can you see it now?
Yes, I think that, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Let's try it one more time. Figure it out. Might just have to play it this way.
Anna Brunswater, and I am the Live Healthy Kids Coordinator here at Live Healthy Appalachia. My position as the Live Healthy Kids Coordinator is to coordinate and implement our
I can't see it.
Eric, yeah, I can't see it. Do you have like a link or a file or something, or?
Yeah, I can just share it that way.
It's hands-on
Okay.
cooking.
I can also, if you send it in the chat, I can click on it and see if I can share it from my screen.
I have so many tabs open and so many screens open, I lose people.
Yeah. Do you all have like second monitors at your spaces?
I do.
Okay, I don't, and I'm like, It hurts. I miss it.
I
I thought
will,
about like trying to hook up my TV. Okay, were you able to send that in the chat, Eric?
I have lost where the chat is.
Oh, so it's down on your bottom. The chat is right next to the screen share button. If you hit chat,
Oh, there we go.
then you can pop the video in, and I can click on it and see if I can share my screen. I don't know if it'll be any different, but we can try. I'd love for the video to be able to play. Oh, you can even send files too.
No. Trying to find. I'm not able to share it right now. So I'll just continue on with the PowerPoint without.
Yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Can you see the PowerPoint now again though?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
I can just see
I just see you.
you. Yeah.
No PowerPoint.
1 second.
I have to press screen share again.
Yep. There we go.
Technology's fun.
Yes.
Yay, we love it. Who's that?
All right. This was another video. It was one of our current members. But I'll send this document to you. But the same thing kind of applies for us. If interested, you can just go to that myamericorps.gov website. Search ComCorps. We are currently interviewing and hiring for our 19 members. This is a picture of Meredith, who did 2 years at Rural Action, working with the Chester Hill Produce Auction. If you've ever been to a produce auction, it's amazing. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's an auction for food. But we're also on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for ComCorps. All of the videos actually that I was trying to show are on the Facebook and Instagram sites. So there's even more individual videos of like all of our members and what they do at their sites. So if you're interested in one of our specific host sites, you can kind of scroll through and maybe find and watch those videos. But my contact information is right there. Don't hesitate to email me, Sydney, if you have any questions. But we always love to get members outside of the Athens and OU kind of bubble. Olivia came from Oberlin College, so a lot of members from out of state as well, who just find us by searching on the website.
That's how I found ComCorps, was specifically like through the interest that I searched on the website. And I think I even like applied like early. Because I was just so excited.
When you know, you know.
Yeah. Eric, which video were you trying to share on the Facebook?
The one of Bree doing.
How do you ComCorps?
What's that?
I think it's called, yeah, I think this is it. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Okay.
I think I found it.
And then there's one of April at Serenity Grove.
Okay, cool. Let's try this. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yep.
Was this it, Eric?
That's one of them in there. So yes.
Okay. Oh, this is community health programs. Okay.
We can't hear your sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks.
It might be because of earphones. I'm not sure though.
Patients, but I'm really available to any of the patients that come to the Heritage Community Clinic if they need help with food. This is the Heritage Community Clinic pantry that I have been working on so far for my service year. They get to choose from lots of whole grain options, different protein options, different fresh fruit options. That's something that we're doing. We're trying to incorporate as many fresh fruit and vegetable options as we can. And so one of my personal goals for the pantry is to make sure that each month when the diabetes patients come in, that they have an opportunity to try something new and fresh. I bought enough of the ingredients that every single patient that comes and tries it today, if they like it, they can take all the ingredients, the fresh ingredients that they need home to make it themselves. So I'm really excited for them to try it. One of my favorite quotes is that your candle or your light is not going to be dimmed by lighting another person's candle. The education that I'm able to help provide through service, I'm also not only educating myself because I'm learning from the people that I'm educating, but I'm also empowering them in the long run. Education is the most powerful thing. Like, it can change the world.
My name's Taylor, and this is how I come.
Ooh, okie dokie. It's done.
That's something.
Yeah. I'll stop my screen there.
That was our member Taylor. They're placed here within the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine, just helping out community health programs. And we have a free clinic that does mobile clinics around Southeast Ohio and serves the Athens community. So our member just provides those like wraparound services, a lot of food distribution within the clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
is that the Y Comcore one that you were wanting to share?
Probably. That one's probably April.
The one with Bri.
I know. One year we had a Bri and one year we had a Brie, and it was very confusing.
If you guys need to go, you can go because it's 11, but I can play that if there's any interest. Okay, I'll play it. Let me share my screen. Okay.
To me, because I've always had a passion for decreasing childhood obesity. It allows me to turn my passion into a purpose. Healthcare really was like the perfect fit. It seemed to combine everything that I needed post undergrad, and so I was really excited about what I had to offer Comcore and what Comcore could offer me. My first interaction with Comcore was actually the wellness member at the Angel Elementary, which my kids attend school. I absolutely loved that someone that was 20-ish would come in and spend this year giving out Band-Aids and doing the dental wash and really taking a step into the lives of a rural school. It was really phenomenal as a parent to know that was happening in the school.
Serving with Comcore allowed me to continue to grow in my skills as an educator in an environment that I was able to have multiple mentors.
Comcore brought me out of my comfort zone. It provided me a way to contribute back to society in a meaningful way.
I feel as Comcore members that we are the connectors between organizations, between schools. We help transitions go smoothly. If there is two organizations that want to work together, there's usually a Comcore member in the middle that can connect them, and I think that's really important.
Comcore helped me grow. I was able to expand my own thoughts on how the world worked.
You know, getting to work with community in different ways was something that I really enjoyed, is being able to not only serve people at my site, but also getting to do all these different events all around Athens County.
We're partnering with so many different local schools and local organizations. I feel like I'm truly making a difference every day.
And that comfort community opportunity to explore these passions of working with kids and focusing more on nutrition and meeting the community in Athens specifically. It also has a huge component of togetherness, and because of my strengths, that's a huge thing for me, working together. One of the lessons I learned was no matter what you do, if you do it with a good heart and good intention, you can make a difference.
Cool. I love the video. That's so cute. Todd stepped off because he had an 11 a.m. meeting. No problem. Sydney, do you have any questions for anybody that's still on the call, or like about service or like anything else?
I don't think so. I'm sorry, I don't have more questions. Like I said, I just am really starting to like look into this and just explore options. So.
Well, I think this was like a great introduction. I know it was very like AmeriCorps heavy. So there are other like service options as well, but I love AmeriCorps. I will like quite honestly say that it was the best thing that I could have done after undergrad. I don't think that any job that I would have been like qualified to work would have helped me find my purpose or supported my growth after college in the ways that I needed, and also like gave me things that I was really excited to do and a lot of freedom too. And I think, especially because I stayed 2 years with ComCorps, my first year was definitely like figuring a lot of things out, and my second year I was able to be like way more intentional in my service, and even like I kind of chose where I wanted to be my second year, specifically for like the supervisor and the person that I wanted to work for. And I got a lot out of it, and really, I mean, ComCorps, so I didn't tell you in the beginning, but I'm in the Masters of Social Work program and the Masters of Public Policy and Leadership at OSU. And ComCorps was what introduced me to social work as a profession. I didn't really even know it was a thing. And I worked with so many amazing social workers that really inspired me to apply to grad school and to join that profession. And I think I learned so much about Appalachia, and I'm from Ohio, but like really had such a lack of knowledge about a significant portion of our state. And I think, yeah, I loved ComCorps. I loved the people that I met, got so much out of it, like really had a wonderful experience.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take too much of everybody's time. I appreciate everyone so much. Thanks for making this work. We don't all get to see each other, but I really appreciate your time and your effort and sharing this information with our students. And I'll share this out with people so they can see the recording as well.
Sydney, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing with me.
Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
Be safe.
Olivia.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.